It's official. Mason Rudolph will be your starting quarterback this Saturday against the Cincinnati Bengals in a must-win game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you're Mason Rudolph, you have to seize the moment and be totally aggressive. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about this Cincinnati Bengals game and what the Pittsburgh Steelers need to do. It's a real simple formula for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you look at the Cincinnati Bengals defense, they can be attacked in certain areas, and the Pittsburgh Steelers need to exploit those areas in a big way. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to use the tight end. Pat Freiermuth has basically been non-existent this entire season, other than the time they played Cincinnati in Ohio. Why has Cincinnati been the only game that Pat Freiermuth has had big-time targets and big-time yardage? It's puzzling to me that the Steelers have allowed this to go on, but if you're Mason Rudolph, use that tight end room. Attack the middle of the field with Mason Rudolph. And use that to exploit one of the weaknesses of the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's attacking the edges with George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. Use things to your advantage to set up the weaknesses of Cincinnati and use those weaknesses to put up some damn points if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, lean on that run game. Set up that play action pass. Use that to Mason's advantage. Let him get comfortable. And if you're Mason Rudolph and you're the offensive coordinator and the play caller for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to be aggressive early. Do not be conservative. You guys are playing for your jobs right now, and you need to attack and be aggressive from the very start. Put the pedal to the metal and don't let off. You saw the Steelers come out and get 13 points against the Indianapolis Colts, and they took their foot off the gas, and they totally failed, and they stumbled, and they just got beat up after that. If you're the Steelers, you come out and you come out swinging early, and you don't stop. The Steelers have many weaknesses, especially on that offensive line. If you're Mike Tomlin, why don't you talk to Pat Meyer and make some changes? Get Dan Moore out of the lineup. Put Chooks back in at right tackle. Broderick over to the left tackle, his more natural spot. Allow those guys to get some fresh start. And maybe be aggressive and be excited to be in there. Maybe sit Mason Cole and put Nate Herbig in there. Make some damn changes if you're Mike Tomlin along that offensive line. From here on out, you have to be aggressive. That's going to be the theme for the rest of this season if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers in these final 3 games. Be aggressive. Attack. Do not let up. Play like you're a man possessed every down. For every player, that's what you got to be, guys. You have to attack and you cannot let up. It's puzzling to me why the Pittsburgh Steelers have got this real passive type attitude, to where they just want to hurry up and grab a lead real quick. They'll play aggressive, and then all of a sudden they'll lean back and just try to run the ball and run out the damn clock. Sometimes that don't work. Sometimes in the NFL, you have to just be nuts and ball out, dude. That's just what you have to do. And if you're the Steelers, you got to get the ball to George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. And let's not forget about a young Calvin Austin who doesn't even exist anymore. He's a home run hitter. When we're talking about hitting the edges, what do the Steelers got to do? Use speedsters like Calvin Austin. And I think Mason Rudolph has the arm to do it. The best arm on the football team. That isn't the problem. Mason Rudolph, he really does have a big arm. That's not the problem for Mason Rudolph. His problem is maybe recognizing defenses and things of that nature. But Mason Rudolph can throw the football. And having a speedster like Calvin Austin for Mason Rudolph could prove to be dangerous, guys. It really could. And if the Steelers can exploit one-on-one matchups with Calvin Austin, because he's non-existent right now, and maybe the Bengals will be lulled to sleep with his performances as of late and just really not pay attention to him, you could put up big numbers with Calvin. That could open up things. Once you start using Calvin Austin and smoking that Cincinnati Bengals defense, they're going to have to start noticing Calvin and respecting him and putting guys over him and really trying to guard him. And what's that going to do? Open up the middle of the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Using Pat Freiermuth. Don't forget about Darnell Washington and Connor Hayward. Also, it's going to free up guys like George Pickens and Deontay Johnson to get free. Utilize that big speed of Calvin Austin to open up this offense. You had him in Las Vegas get that big ball from Kenny. But have you seen him since really do anything? No, you haven't. There is open receivers in this offense, inside this offense. The offensive line creates an environment to where sometimes these quarterbacks can't hit them, can't find them. Well, maybe if you make those changes on the offensive line and you're aggressive down the field and hopefully you have an extra second to deliver the football, Mason Rudolph with a big enough arm can anticipate guys getting open down the field and chuck that son of a gun down the damn field and really try to make big plays. That's what you got to do, guys, if you're the Steelers on offense. It's a simple formula. Run the ball down the Bengals' throat. The Bengals can't stop the run. The Bengals cannot guard the edges. Attack, attack, attack. And don't let up. Don't worry about controlling the play or the clock, the game clock right away if you're the Steelers. Worry about scoring some damn points. Everything will fall into place if you're the Steelers if you get up on this Bengals team and really put the clamps down on them. Then you can start to slowly incorporate that grind out type football, that grind them down type football, wear them down, and then still don't go away from what got you to that point if you're the Steelers and you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have that type of lead and those types of scoring plays. Don't forget what happened to get you there. Still attack, still take shots down the field, still put the defense on their heels. And don't let up. You have 3 games here if you're the Steelers offense and you have to prove what your worth is. You're auditioning for your jobs next year, guys. That's what you're doing. And you need to really focus and really get fired up for these last 3 games, especially this one, the last home game of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Attack, attack, attack. That has to be the theme. And if you're the Steelers on defense, there's a few things that you have to do. Does Alex Highsmith even play for this team anymore? He seems to be non-existent. The production is low right now, and I'm starting to notice that a lot. I've heard some others talk about that also, and I wanted to bring it up here. Alex Highsmith has not really been producing. He has had his moments. But maybe, if you're the Steelers, attacking a Bengals offense that has a hot quarterback right now that likes to throw the screen game, why not put in a guy like Nick Herbig and TJ Watt opposite of each other? They can play that pass. They can rush the passer with excellent spin moves and different things like that to be able to put pressure on Jake Browning. And whenever they throw those little screens, guys like Herbig and TJ Watt can play the football. Allow them to maybe do something. And I'm not saying Alex Highsmith's a bad player, but just right now he's not performing up to his contract. He's not. And maybe he's still injured. Maybe that neck's giving him a problem. I really like Alex Highsmith, but I think you need to unleash Nick Herbig. He has proven enough when he's been in there that he deserves more snaps, and maybe just give him this opportunity. Maybe that fires up this defense. Possibly. Would it be easier for Nick Herbig to fill in down there to where you bring in Alex Highsmith as that third outside linebacker and let him play more of a rover spot around to help out that middle linebacker spot, just to help it out? I'm not saying play middle linebacker, but help it out. There's got to be some more exotic things that you can do. And if you're the Steelers on defense, you have to be different. Don't be so predictable. Don't just lean on TJ Watt and expect everything to happen. You can't. You've got too many holes on the back end with no safety play. You have too many holes in the middle with all the injuries. So you have to be different. You have to come up with different ways in order to force the Bengals into mistakes. Put your best ball hawks out there, the guys that attack the football the best, the guys that are remaining on that roster, and allow them to go after and attack the football and be aggressive. And that's what I think you need to do. Patrick Peterson, I've dogged him all season, but I got to give him respect this time for moving back to the safety spot and trying to help this football team win. That's some good leadership, and I really appreciate that from Patrick Peterson. He's washed up. He isn't the player that he used to be. He's going to be a Hall of Fame corner, but right now that's not what he is. And hopefully, Patrick Peterson, given this effort, given this team-type effort, and going back to that safety position, a position that he is not a superstar at, is not accustomed to being at all the time, and allowing him to maybe shine a little bit. Maybe he can go after the football and get a couple interceptions, a couple turnovers, but we have to give him props for going back there and being a real team player, and that's maybe the example that the Steelers need right now on defense, especially. That leadership. That, hey, guys, I'm willing to sacrifice my Hall of Fame career to go back there and play ball and do what's necessary to win football games for this team. Maybe that excites them enough. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I think that that's what the Steelers need to do. You have to be aggressive. That's the key. Be aggressive on both sides of the football. And if you're not, you're going to run into problems, and this Bengals team's going to eat you up. There's some fuel to the fire also, guys. Tyler Boyd, a hometown kid, who's going to be a free agent next year. I'd like the Steelers see the Steelers get him. But he did talk about, hey, that Steelers locker room, it's lost right now. Those guys aren't together right now. And Joey Porter Jr. replied, he's not in here. He don't know what's going on. But I think Tyler Boyd's probably spot on. I don't think they're together right now. We'll see this Saturday if things have changed, if maybe some motivational talk has sparked some fire in their bellies. We'll see. But Tyler Boyd may be spot on, but I don't think it's good for him to be running his jib. Maybe that'll fire up the Steelers. Maybe, Tyler Boyd's words gets this Steelers team just truly motivated. At this point of the season, you might be looking for some motivation considering you're 7-7. You might be looking for something to fire you up. I think a chance to make the playoffs if you win out should fire you up enough. You're going to get paid in the playoffs. Everybody gets the same paycheck in the playoffs. Everybody gets that extra money. You're all getting those nice checks. That should be motivation to get you there and want to win and want to be involved in the playoffs. But, guys, let's go back to one of the biggest problems on this football team. Well, not back to it, but we're going to explore it here. And that is the coaching staff. And if you're this coaching staff, you're Mike Tomlin in particular and all his crew, all the guys that he's brought in, I think you're coaching for your jobs. And I think that you need to be aggressive also. The time for passive play is over. It's playoff football time, guys. Right now, for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, you want to go on a run, it's the playoffs today. Right now, when you go into that practice building, today is the day. This starts your playoffs. There is no more we could afford to lose type shit. There is no more. You can't. You have to go with it. And if you're the coaching staff, you have to be super aggressive. You can't be passive anymore. You can't worry about turnovers. You can't worry about living in your fears. Mike Tomlin always says he doesn't live in his fears. Well, I think you do. Don't live in your fears, man. Be aggressive and attack. You have Mason Rudolph out there who has a big arm. Allow him to attack. Terrell Austin on defense. Allow your big headhunter guys to go after the quarterback and come out with some different looks. Mix things up. Confuse that Bengals defense. Quit trying to wheel out the same damn thing and worry like, oh, we're breaking protocol. Let these guys play damn football, man. Let them attack the ball. Make that your only schematic. Attack the football. Guard your player. Play a lot of man coverage. Be really aggressive. Go after the damn football. And this coaching staff, you got to be able to motivate guys. You have to. And I know they're professionals, they're adults, and I always say they should be able to motivate themselves. But this week, you got to come in the building fired up, man. You got to have some excitement. You can't just sit there with your hands underneath your ass, not doing anything, just saying, well, I hope it helps. I hope it works. I hope these guys get fired up. I hope they can start to play. No, make it happen. Talk it into existence. Get this thing rolling. Steeler fans, have some damn excitement this weekend at Acrisure Stadium and bring that energy, man. Get this team. It takes one win to get on a roll, and this is the week that you got to do it, man. Get on a roll this week. That's what you got to do. Go in there fired up, get this team fired up, and see what happens, man. Go out there and win these 3 games and see what happens. See where you end up. You might be pleasantly surprised by the end of it. You might end up with a playoff spot and a team that's hot. We'll see. Maybe Mason Rudolph gets so damn hot that He guides his team into the playoffs. Maybe this is his chance. Sitting for so long, learning so much over this time, not being a distraction. Maybe now he's going to seize that opportunity. We've seen guys get 5 years into the league and finally blossom at quarterback. We've had one in Pittsburgh, Terry Bradshaw. Maybe this is Mason's time. I'm not comparing Mason to Terry Bradshaw. Don't go off the rocker. Please don't. I know it in the comments. I'm just saying we've had that similar situation happen. And Mason Rudolph is not Terry Bradshaw. I'm not saying that. But hey, stranger shit has happened, guys. And two guys, stranger shit has happened that this Steelers team has been left for dead. Left for dead. Everybody's counting them out. And what happens? They just won't go away. And here they come. And that could happen to this Steelers football team also. So there's still hope, guys. Don't lose hope. There's things this Steelers team can do to get back in this thing, to claw back in it. Find that Steeler way and get things moving yet again in the city of Pittsburgh and get people excited about their football team. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like the video, share, do all that fun stuff. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Keep those comments coming. I think I've caught up on most of them. I think I've answered a lot of them. There shouldn't be too many left that I haven't answered, but keep those comments coming. We're almost to our 4,000 watch hour goal. That's pretty cool. So we're only like 200 watch hours away. So let's make this video blow up and get to that 200 hours that we need. And that would be awesome. Don't forget our live show Saturday. That's tomorrow after the football game. And we'll be live taking your comments, questions, concerns about this football team, and hopefully celebrating a big Steelers win under Mason Rudolph and a defense that's beaten, and maybe they rise up to the occasion and prove everybody wrong. We'll see what happens. But until next time, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.